Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Asim Mahmood, registration number 17510. My group member Shah Nawaz, registration number 19300. Subject of presentation is advanced concrete technology. The topic of presentation is no fines concrete. What is meant by no fines concrete? Porous concrete made without the use of fine aggregate. This is a special type of gap grade concrete, also known as pervious concrete. It is made by eliminating the utilization of fine aggregate completely, and only a uniform size of coarse aggregate is used. Low density of about 1600 to 1900 kg per meter cube. This concrete has an open structure with a high white content and fairly low cement content. How do you make no fine concrete? Begin with a coarse aggregate material with an average size of 0.75 inch, 20 mm of size, in with no material less than 10 mm. Mix aggregate with cement in a 6 to 1 ratio. Once the cement is mixed with the aggregate, add water in the volume indicated to the right. Do not overwater the mix. It's a concrete with a high volume of white, 20% or 35%, and high permeability that allows water to flow through it easily. Since it is very porous and highly permeable to air and water, it cannot be used for foundation. If the coarse aggregate used is a lightweight aggregate rather than stones, the concrete would have an excellent properties and an ultra lightweight material. History: no fine concrete was first used in the 1800th century in Europe was pavement surfacing and load bearing walls. Cost efficiency was the main motive due to the decreased amount of cement. It became popular again in the 19th century for two-story homes in Scotland and England. It became increasingly viable in Europe after Second World War due to the scarcity of cement. It did not become popular in 2000. Properties of no fine concrete. No fine concrete compacts very little, hence the vibration should be applied for a very short period of time, otherwise the cement paste will run off. There is no workability test for no fine concrete. Visual checkup for ensuring even coating of aggregate particles with cement paste is sufficient. No fine concrete aggregates. It can be dropped from a considerable height and placed in high lifts. The modulus of rupture of no fine concrete is about 30% of its compressive strength. This proportion is higher than the normal weight concrete. The thermal moment of no fine concrete is about 70% of that of normal weight. The actual value of coefficient of thermal expansion depends on the type of aggregate used. No fine concrete normally is not used in reinforced concrete. However, it is essential to use no fine concrete in reinforcement. Then the reinforcement has to be coated with a thin layer of about 3 mm of cement paste to improve its bond and prevent corrosion. Shotcreting may be applied for coating the reinforcement. In spite of its lower weight and strength, it can be used for even of many story buildings. No fine concrete is highly resistant to frost due to the absence of capillaries in it. High absorption up to 12% by mass makes no fine concrete unsuitable for use in foundations and in situations where it may be in contact with water. Mixed proportion of no fines concrete. No fine concrete is generally made with aggregate cement ratio from 6 to 1 to 10 to 1. Aggregate used are normally of size passing through 20 mm and retained on 10 mm, unlike the conventional concrete, in which the strength of primarily controlled by the water cement ratio, aggregate cement ratio, and unit weight of concrete. The water cement ratio for satisfactory consistency will vary between a narrow range of 0.38 and 0.52. Water current ratio must be chosen with care. If too low a water cement ratio is adopted, the paste will be so dry that aggregate do not get properly smeared with the paste, which results in insufficient adhesion between the particles. No standard method is available for testing the no fines concrete. Perhaps a good experience visual examination and trial and error method may be adopted for checking the water cement ratio. On the other hand, if the water cement ratio is too high, the paste flows to the bottom of the concrete, particularly when vibrated, and fills up the void between the aggregates and the bottom and makes that portion dense. This condition also reduces the adhesion between aggregate and the paste becoming very thin. When conventional aggregates are used, mesh a density of about 16 to 1900 kg per meter cube. But when no file concrete is made by using lightweight aggregate, the density may come to about 360 kg per meter cube. Uh, I request to Shah Nawaz Khan to proceed further the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Engineer Shah Nawaz Khan. Uh, I want to start my presentation. Making of no fines concrete. The paste content should be just sufficient to thoroughly coat each aggregate particles. Any sound aggregate which is free from clay or dust and which is rounded or roughly cubical in shape may be used for no fine concrete. Water cement ratio is a factor which is more critical with no fines than with dense concrete, since it exerts considerably more influence on the strength. Next, water content should not be high or the paste will separate from the aggregate. It should be placed with light rodding instead using vibration or ramming. Light rodding is done to ensure that the foam is filled completely without bridges or large voids. Renting is an essential features of no fines construction if the structure is to be made waterproof. Next, advantages. Uh, the low hydrostatic pressure of this material when it is wet, that is around 1/3 of dense concrete, permits the use of very large lightweight forms. Mix will not segregate due to its even grading, suitable for application where strength requirements are not great. Lower cost because of lower cement content. Lower thermal conductivity. Next, it has low density. It is a high permeable, better insulating characteristics than conventional concrete because of the presence of large voids. No segregation and capillary movements of water. It dries quickly. It has low drying shrinkage. Next, disadvantages. Runoff from adjacent areas onto the previous concrete needs to be prevented. The the parking areas are uh, generally limited to auto parking and occasional lots. If reinforcement is required, epoxy coated bars should be used. Concrete is variable in permeability. Over vibration significantly reduces permeability. It is still a new material that requires acceptance from uh, cities
City.
and states. Transportation of no fines concrete. A no, a no fine concrete mixture should be discharged completely within 1 hour after initial setting time. The use of retarding chemicals admixture or hydration stabilized admixtures may be extended discharge time to 1 or 2 hours or more. Next, placement and थोड़ा सा zoom कर दे kindly.
Placement and consolidation.
अच्छा, placement and consolidation. So base preparation and form should be uh, double checked prior to placement. Placement should be continuous and spreading should be rapid. Mechanical vibrating, laser screeds, and manual screeds are commonly used because of rapid hardening and high evaporation rate. Delays in consolidation can cause problems. What will be the maintenance? No maintenance. To prevent reduction in permeability, pervious concrete needs to be cleaned regularly. Cleaning can be accomplished through wetting the surface of the concrete and vacuum sweeping. Next, what is the application? Now I want to discuss its application. Used in hydraulic structure as drainage media in parking lots, pavements, and airports runway to reduce storm water runoff. Also used in tennis courts and greenhouses. Used in building construction for its thermal insulating properties. Next, acha, this is the picture. You can see the strength of no fine concrete is dependent on water cement ratio, aggregate cement ratio, and unit weight of concrete. Yani either okay. Thanks. This
Thank you.
is the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.